Hi, I'm Marshall Zweig. Daily life can be highly challenging for a highly sensitive person. If you're an HSP, like me, sometimes how much we feel doesn't seem ideal. Well, let's go from tired to inspired, from surviving to thriving. Here are 5 helpful hints for happy hearts if you're an HSP. 1. Accept your high sensitivity. HSPs are known to be hard on themselves when they fail. It's important to always bear in mind failures are opportunities for profound learning. In addition, having been criticized for being sensitive means many HSPs suffer from imposter syndrome. It can be a great relief simply to know you're not alone in suffering from it. My advice, don't keep the feeling inside. Talk about it. I remember being a new writer myself and telling my boss, my extraordinarily talented boss, that I felt like a fraud. I was constantly afraid I'd get found out and fired for only pretending to be a writer. And my boss said simply back, "That voice tends to get quieter with time." I realized in that moment he experienced imposter syndrome as well, and he was right. That feeling subsides with time and with practice. So I humbly, respectfully suggest you open to those feelings as often as you can. 2. Listen to yourself. Because HSPs feel so deeply, we often want to avoid our inner realities. The reality is, your heightened sensitivity isn't going away, and that's okay because there are profound gifts in being highly sensitive. And believe me, it took me a long time to realize that. HSPs need to check in with themselves to see what we're feeling and what we need. Remember, the strong feelings we have are there for a reason. So start and end your day with a check-in, and be okay with whatever message you get. Feelings are not good or bad, they just are. Setting reminders on your phone throughout the day to check in with yourself can aid you as well. 3. Expect respect. HSPs commonly struggle with setting boundaries and avoiding interpersonal conflict. Practice saying yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. I know for me it feels literally painful when I tell someone who needs me professionally that I can't work late, for example. But I have to do it because no one else will do it for me, and no one hears no by magic, and if I don't do it, I get exhausted. So remember, you are your only real advocate. Be there for you. That goes for conflict too. If you're uncomfortable in an interpersonal situation, you don't have to argue. You can exit the conversation. You can leave the room. You can hang up the phone. For many HSPs, nurturing others comes naturally and easily. So remember, nurture yourself. 4. Learn to regulate your nervous system. HSPs have unique nervous systems. We can be triggered by stimuli that wouldn't trigger other people. So we need to practice handling our triggers. I know after an argument, which thankfully is practically non-existent in my life, I can feel like I just want to die. What helps me most is focusing on my breath, remembering to breathe deeply in and out. When I focus on my breath for a minimum of 1 minute, feeling the air going into my nostrils and into my lungs, watching my chest and my belly rise and fall, I'm always calmer and more open afterward. I also coach people as a resensitization therapist to focus on their senses one by one. So for example, you can take a minute to rub the tip of a thumb and first finger together until you can feel the ridges of your fingertips. Focus on that for 60 seconds, all your attention, and you might be surprised at how much more present and calm you feel. You can do the same for all your senses. Burn some Palo Santo, breathe the smell into your nose for 60 seconds, and notice the result. Take your shoes off and feel the ground or earth under your bare feet for 60 seconds, maybe wiggling your toes while you do it. These techniques can reset an HSP's highly developed nervous system, reminding us that we're safe. And 5, prioritize self-care. The world we live in isn't always kind to an HSP or easy. Having a structured life is where we get to create our own world, which allows us to experience comfort and peace, and that's important to an HSP's well-being. So watch your caffeine intake, for example. HSPs are known to be highly sensitive to caffeine. Take regular breaks during the day, whenever you get the sense that you need to. Make time for exercise. A walk outside or down in the basement like I do during cold days can be highly beneficial for an HSP. Have a regular bedtime routine and make sure to get at least 7 hours of sleep. Also, HSPs are highly stimulated by light, so have a phone off period before you go to sleep. And I'm talking to myself because sometimes I forget. Carve out alone time for yourself, which helps many, if not most, HSPs recharge. And find a supportive diet structure. Diet was for a long time my weak point. I bounced from one diet to another, never feeling supported, never feeling understood. As an HSP, I find it comforting and nurturing to exist inside the structure of counting carbs. When I reach my daily limit, I'm done eating for the day. That structure creates peace within me. Structure is something that is in an HSP's control, something we can regulate, which can be comforting to an HSP's nervous system. And make sure you're choosing the structure, because HSPs often will resist a structure that's imposed upon us. Adhering to a structure we create gives an HSP predictability, which again can be soothing to our nervous system. Your gift to the world is increased sensitivity. Share yourself, and you'll encourage others and empower others to share themselves. So go make a difference just by being you.